We love audio. We really love audio. David has a collection of probably 40 or 50 mics and probably half a dozen, maybe a dozen cameras and lighting equipment just because it's his world and he's been in it for 20 years. And we just started playing with it and started doing stuff, and it turned into a business, which is really fun. My background is in education. I was 20 years in public school, and part of that was me working as a professional development expert, so teaching adults. I was part of the team responsible for helping teachers keep their ongoing credentialing. They have all these credits they need to get. And so
Right.
that was my job, was to teach the teachers. So I spent time teaching children and teaching adults. And I love it. And so we found a way to bring together David's love of audio, and he's a gearhead and a nerd and all of that great stuff, and my love of education and teaching. And that's what KaSa Media is. It's a marriage of those two things.
Yep.
Okay. So it's a great answer. And I should say the reason that we wanted to partner is that we have a lot of material that's out there about how to do the nuts and bolts of things. We are offering, of course, this our own like ongoing office hours. You can come and ask questions and all that stuff. But in our approach, we've always wanted a holistic approach to teaching a course. It's not just like about using some stuff. It's about learning how to, really advance yourself as a producer and all of that. Can you talk a little bit about your approach and kind of the holistic approach to being an audio producer?
Yeah. David, do you want to talk about that, or you want me to take it?
Yeah, might as well. We can split it up for sure. I think the something that we thought about just from things that we've learned as we've been teaching people about audio is you hear a lot of things on the internet and you do a lot of research yourself. You're kind of self-taught, many of the people that we deal with. And there's so much information that's available. It's hard to pick out what's really useful and
Right.
what you really need to know. And so we kind of had the idea of, let's take all of the stuff that we feel is important, that we know is important, and put it in a way that allows people to learn audio to kind of help to put their best foot forward, to make
Right.
sure that they're doing things correctly. Even things like mic technique, stuff like that, and how to use a microphone so that you're not having to worry about trying to eliminate plosives in your editing, just by changing your direction that you're talking into the microphone and stuff like that.
Right.
And so in working with Hindenburg, we noticed right away that the platform itself is about storytelling. It's not about being an audio editor. And to me,
Right.
that was like leaps and bounds above what everybody else was doing when it came to dealing with dialogue, because of your approach to the software and how everything works within the software. And it was right in line with what we were doing as far as wanting to create something where you're not only learning about how to cut and paste audio in your editor, you're also learning um, ways of like what that stuff actually is. So we have a module in the course where we're talking about what is digital audio, because a lot of people have a lot of different pictures in their head of what they're doing, but until you actually see it and understand what's going on, you don't really understand why you're doing certain things the way that you're doing them, why you're editing in a wave versus an MP3, and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so part of that basic education was really important to us, almost more so than how do you cut and paste, because like you said, there's videos all over on how do you cut and paste in Hindenburg, how do you do all these things. You guys have hundreds of videos on your website that people have access to, but putting them in a way that allows people to really get a good understanding of why they're doing the things they're doing when they're doing it, to us was important. So
Yeah.
Tiffany, do you want to add anything?
Well, yeah, there's a way people learn, and there's
Yeah.
a way they don't learn. And there's such a plethora of information out there. People can find whatever they want by an internet search, but it gets really overwhelming because there's so much information, and that's not typically the way we learn. There's a more systematic way we learn. There's we need opportunity to sit with the information, to review the information, to work with the information, to ask questions about it, and so bringing in the way we learn and then taking that information and putting it in the way people learn, then it's not overwhelming. It becomes easy.
Right.
It's chunked, it's small, okay, I can work with this. David has been working professionally with audio for more than 20 years. He's been in the AAA gaming industry as an audio engineer, and his knowledge of the audio world is vast, and being able to take that and put it into the way we learn, and being able to create a systematic way to learn on a very high level. I mean, if you're going to be a certified editor, you're understanding Hindenburg beyond just editing, really. Like
Right.
it's a very holistic way of understanding the software, your job as an editor, your job to help the story be told, right? And so
Mhm.
that's what we've brought together in this.
Yeah.
Right. So, so many questions with all that. Uh, I think a lot of people out there, I mean, I guess I don't know, I didn't take a survey or something, but just from doing a lot of teaching myself, and you had made a great point. There's a way that people learn, there's a way people don't learn. That's very important. And everybody
Mhm.
learns a little bit differently. And that's very important as well. Um, I think a lot of folks are very good at some components having to do with audio. It could be they're great voiceover talent. They're
Mhm.
very good at whatever, putting together their podcast, telling their story, all of these different things. But you're working with tools or in a medium where there are things that are happening that it's okay if you don't know what the heck they are, because why? I mean, you want to tell a great story. Nobody
Right.
says, "You wanna tell a great story, what's the sample rate?" Like, that's
Right.
it's not necessarily, something that, should be a roadblock for you. And so I think sometimes folks get either defensive or pretend they know something about, audio when they maybe a little scared about it. And it's okay to, like, not know, yeah, what is the difference between a WAV and an MP3? You can't know anything you don't know. And so, I love the approach of the course. It's like, this is about taking what you already do well and kind of getting better at it, demystifying the parts that are still maybe in the dark, all of that. But you said you guys actually already have a course that's for that's like a broad overview of Hindenburg. So I guess I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you a couple questions. One, uh, who are your average users for that course? And then two, I guess everything is related to this new certification course. I mean, how hard is this? I mean, are we talking like this is cut and paste, or is this like, no, you have to, it's pretty rigorous?
So the first one, we call it recording and editing with Hindenburg Pro,
Yeah.
is for the everyday user that just needs to understand how to use the software. They don't really need to know the background knowledge, whether they completely understand the difference between a WAV and an MP3. They don't need a in-depth understanding. They just need to understand we edit WAV files and we'll export MP3 to send to your podcast host or whatever. Um, and so it's basically 2 modules. I think it's 11 videos, and it's super short. Boom, do this and you'll be able to do whatever it is you need to do in Hindenburg. Okay. So that is going to be maybe a DIY podcaster, maybe somebody who, has a lot of fun with editing and just wants to learn the system. The certification is more geared to people where this is their professional job, right?
Mhm.
Where I work with people to get their podcast produced. I am the engineer on it, I am the editor on it, and this is my job. And David can speak to the nuances of that. Go for it, David.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, just like you said, it's more for the person that is using Hindenburg in a professional manner. Even the basic though, I do have to say, if you're like a journalist and you just need to know the basics on how you can hit record and send in your file to be able to go to the studio, the basic program would help with that for sure. It's not like it's only for people that are DIYers. You can be a professional in the industry and still just need a basic understanding of how do I hit record and make sure that I'm getting a good quality to whomever it is that's going to be doing the end product.
Yeah.
The certification is definitely geared more towards somebody who is either really into I would say somebody who really wants to deliver a professional product for either themselves or multiple people. So if this is something where this is your job and you want to be able to explain to people why it is they need to do certain things because they're going to be sending you audio and it's going to make your job easier, understanding how to explain those things to your clients, to the people that you're working with, that's part of what we go over also. It's not just using the software, it's how do you work with your clients, how do you deal with that back and forth to make sure that you're getting a good product to make your job easier as an editor. So
Right.
there's things that you learn as like my job as an editor is to not have people know that I've been there. And so,
Yeah.
like you're probably the least known person in at the end result because people shouldn't know, oh, this was edited really well.
No
The
one ever says,
person,
"Oh, the edits are
right?
so good. I
So
love the
good,
edits." Yeah.
right? Yeah, they
But
should
they'll
just
say
not
it if
even
it's
notice it.
bad.
They'll say it if it's
Yeah.
bad. Yes. Yeah.
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 It's
So I
like the
think that
CIA, right? Like, it's better if people don't know the
don't
CIA
even
was
know.
there.
Yep,
If they do
Right.
know,
exactly.
CIA did
Yeah.
something wrong.
Yeah, for sure. So it is geared more for people that are planning on doing this for their profession, or they take their podcast or whatever it is that they're using Hindenburg for. It's to them, it's they want to up level. And so they
Mhm.
want to know the reasons why they're doing certain things because they want to be able to tweak things a certain way. They want to be able to handle their audio a certain way, whether it be audio drama or something that they're producing on their own, and they need access to better tools or a better understanding of how all these things work together so that they can produce a better product. More of that kind of person, somebody who definitely needs a more deeper understanding of what it is that they're doing when it comes to editing.
And
So
I should throw out there just one thing because we've wanted to do a certification course for a long time. We have a lot of things going on, as I think some folks who are watching this are aware of. 2.0 is coming out, or
Yeah.
two. So much going on. There's so many things in development. There's so much exciting stuff with the narrator, all of it, and it seems like everything happens at the same time. So some people have also wanted a certification course to differentiate themselves from the casual user as well,
Hmm.
and some folks have asked for it as it pertains to another question which we get a lot of, which is um, being an affiliate.
I was
And
just
so a
about to
lot
bring
of
that up.
people, yes, yeah. So I can't give anybody hard timelines on this now. And you have to let us just get some things settled. But this is part of that. We absolutely and have for a long time want people to be. We want people who are using the products to be in business doing that. So those folks who are avid users of ours, we would love for you to be certified, and we would love for you to be an affiliate. And I should say, when you do the certification program, you will be featured on the website. That is a new change that's going to be happening. We're going to have a part of one of the pages where it's going to have all of our certified users and a little picture and bio of everybody. So, once you do it, you're there for life. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and being a certified user is going to be it's going to be a professional status because
mhm.
it's not going to be super easy, right? Like there's quizzes throughout that you have to pass to move forward. And then there's a final exam that has a certain number of key things that we think are vital. And that is actually going to be graded by a real life human, right? Like you're going to actually be editing something, turning it in, and a real life human's going to be listening to it and making sure those particular things were done, right? Like that you know how to use these pieces and parts of Hindenburg. So to be able to say, I'm a Hindenburg certified professional, that's going to be a big deal. It's not like, yeah, I paid a little bit of money and kind of watched some videos and there you go.
Right.
Um, where we want to make sure that whoever has that label, it comes with that status, it comes with that clout. Like not everybody will be able to pass, right? Like not everybody will be able to do it. So if you have that, then it shows the level of your competence. I think it's kind of exciting, right?
Yeah.
Like if you've got that button, I'm a Hindenburg certified professional, then it's a big
I
deal.
Yeah, and I think it works to both ways too for the people that are hiring editors. If you can say, hey, I'm a certified Hindenburg user here. You can go and check it out on their website. And by you guys listing everybody and giving people a space to show, here's who I am, here's what I do, and here's how you can contact me. It's like, I don't know. It just really makes you. It shows how serious you take your job, as far
Mhm.
as being an
Right.
editor and being able to deliver a good product. And it boosts the confidence of your potential clients to know that you're somebody that really takes this seriously. It's not just a hobby. I'm not a somebody who decided, oh, I have a podcast and I can edit. I can edit your podcast too for $50. It's somebody who's really learned what they need to know to do it right. And proof will be by showing you, showcasing everybody on your website and having, access to that database is going to be huge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a show don't tell
Hmm.
situation, which we love, and the reason we wanna, host your profile on the website is because we want to invest in the people that are investing in the long
Mhm.
term, in long term with Hindenburg. So,
Yeah.
uh, speaking of show don't tell, would you mind if we did a little screen share here and just give a brief taste of what it will look like, just so that folks have an idea of what
Yes.
these modules and all this.
Absolutely.
I know you're gonna have to give us a minute here. This always, whenever screen
Takes
sharing
a
happens.
second.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what the student portal looks like. So you'll have a lesson portal that has different modules. So module 1 is your audio engineering crash course in the digital audio. You'll see there's workbooks, there's video lessons, there is a quiz, and then we move into actually like, okay, here's your what are the key commands that you're going to use? What is the Hindenburg interface? And then we move into actually the nuts and bolts of editing. And we move, nice and long. There's quizzes throughout, exporting and publishing. And then this is what I think is really cool is the module on working with your client. And so it brings it back to there's so much more to being a professional, in the editing world. um, there's working with clients and what do you do and how do you problem solve their issues and how do you talk to people about some of their challenges, and so we have that module as well. And then we'll talk about some editing best practices. Like David said, you really shouldn't know the editor was there. It should just sound great. So what are some of those best practices? We see a lot of um, over editing happening that really doesn't need to happen. And so it's okay, what are some of those best practices? So that's it in a nutshell. It's you can see it's 6 modules, so it's not overwhelming, but each module is pretty dense in the lessons, right? Like you're going to have a lot of videos and quizzes and be able to work through them. Now, our beta testers, they're working through them at a pretty decent pace. It's not taking months and months and months. And we like that as well because we learn best when we can kind of move through things. And so each video as well is under 10 minutes.
Right.
Um, so you're not watching an hour-long video and trying to figure this out. We've got like a 10-minute lesson on something specific. You work through that, practice it, and then you get to move on to the next video. And then there's when there are a lot of videos, we'll throw in some quizzes in between just to solidify that learning. And then you move on to the next section of videos in that module. So it keeps it fast moving, fast paced. You get to practice and apply and then move on to the next thing.
So, one more question here. There'll be videos, there'll be quizzes, there's all that going on. Will people be able to get any help from the teachers themselves as they're going along? Some people might struggle with the technical side. David, how would you deal with people who do you have like a way of dealing with people who struggle with tech, and then can people visit with the teachers as they're going through the course?
Yeah, definitely. We actually have on Fridays we're going to have it's basically an AMA where it'll be live for an hour. Myself or one of the other instructors will be at the AMA, and you can come in and ask any questions that you have, any difficulties that you have with something that you're trying to figure out how to do, even after you've gone through the course. So let's say you've taken the course and 6 months has passed and something comes up and you have a question regarding how to do a specific thing, you can show up to the AMA and say, hey, just wanted to ask this quick question or long question. Even it wouldn't make a difference. So we're definitely going to have an office hours that goes along with the course, and it's not only for the time that you're going through the course. It's once you're a member, and you can come to it anytime and be involved with that end of it. For somebody that does struggle with uh, the tech end of it, those are great as far as getting stuff figured out. One thing that we made sure that we did though was that we kept it at a pace where things are pretty much any level of person is able to understand it. And I've had people that have gone, the beta testers, from beginners to professionals, that have commented about how, oh, I was able to figure this out, something else, I was having this problem, and because of how it was shown, I was able to figure it out. I've had professionals come and say, oh my gosh, I just learned something that saves me 4 hours a week on my editing because of how I'm now doing it compared to how I was doing it before. So even if you're a seasoned person, you've been using it for 10 years, there's still stuff for you to learn within Hindenburg, because there's so many hidden features, and we go into all those little hidden features. And the way that we go into them is a way that even beginners are able to understand it, because it's not, like Tiffany said, it's not 2 hours worth of video and you're having to figure everything else out after you've watched, tried to take in all this information. It's cut up into little small chunks. But if you do have problems, you can reach out to, you can send an email. We have a community center or a community page within the course that you can post questions to, and you'll get a response from either your fellow students that may have the answer, or one of us that'll chime in and answer the question directly there, or you can come to the office hours. So there's multiple ways that you can reach out and get answers and help.
It's great. It's great. So many things. And like I said, this for us is just a natural extension of, as you said,
Yeah.
you find out this new thing and you realize, oh my God, I didn't know I needed that because I've saved 4 hours. And there's this term that I've been starting to use a lot more, because I think it's just true. The whole design of Hindenburg. So for folks, I think most folks know this, but for both products, both Pro and Narrator, is about really efficiency. It's about a great
Mm-hmm.
tool to get you to do something, which is tell your story or produce your voiceover, whatever, but to do it efficiently so that you don't have to be bogged down in things that aren't necessary. So this phrase "time to market" is something we're saying a
Mm-hmm.
lot more of, especially like in the voiceover world. But it's just true everywhere. And the time to market, when you're the editor, it's your time. That's the
Right.
time that
Yeah.
if you can produce the things fast, you can basically make more money and make a living at it. So learning how to
Yeah.
do that, it's a worthwhile investment.
Yeah. For
Very
sure.
much. I
For
mean,
sure.
think if you charge $75 an hour or $150 an hour for your editing and you're able to save 4 hours,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. That's
A
a
Yeah.
lot of
lot of
money.
money that you're saving and able to do another job then,
Yeah.
work with another client. So, yeah, it's very big, and we are huge on support. That support is a really important part of adult learning.
Yeah.
And it's fun working, for us to work on this as a partnership, Hindenburg and KaSa, because Hindenburg, you have these regular AMAs, you're big on the community, on the learning. Hindi users are like, they're passionate about Hindi, right? Like
Sure.
it's like a fit, like we're a
Mm-hmm.
community for sure. And so it's just a nice fit because it's important to us as well. So there is a community that goes with this certification course, and you will have a community of other Hindenburg certified professionals that are going through this with you, and you get to learn from each other and ask each other questions as well as the instructors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that's super useful and helpful for people.
And we should say, just so everybody knows, the course is version 2. It is version
Yeah.
2 and moving forward into the future. So it'll also be updated as new features come out for that. So we're so excited about all the development that's happening with version 2, and the course is going to be out mid-May. We will definitely let you know the official date that when it starts, and just keep your eyes peeled for everything as it pertains to version 2, because it's a lot of exciting things that are coming in the near future. So
Yeah.
uh we're pumped about all of it. So definitely sign up for the course. Stay posted. We will let you know, and we'll see you at the next one, everybody. So thank you, Tiffany and David, so much for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye.